one of the most interesting and I guess the most common type of questions asked in IELTS reading exam. We'll get into it without further ado. So MCQs, I can't just highlight it enough. Then let's move on. Now, appears in both academic and general. So it appears in both academic and general IELTS reading test. Fairly simple, but it's very easy to get tricked by picking the wrong answer. That is what MCQ does to you, because you'll be confused, and while reading most of the time students don't get the proper time, so in panicky situations more likely to get it confused. Then there are different types of MCQ questions, so you'll have to choose one correct answer out of 4 options given, choose 2 correct answers out of 5 given options, and 3 answers out of 6 options. Out of these 3, this type is the common one, that is choose one answer out of the 4 options. Now strategy is all that will make a difference. This is very important, very important to understand. If you can take screenshots or if you want to make notes of it, please do make notes of it. Don't get panicked by reading the 7 steps into the strategy. It's all fairly easy. The first things first, as usual, we'll have to read the instructions. We'll have to read the instructions carefully. Read the instructions carefully. When you have read the instruction, then move on to the question. Read the question carefully and underline the keywords, which is very common, and this we have been studying since every type of question. But what changes here, that is applicable only for MCQ type question, is that do not read the options. If you have read the options, because there will be like 5 paras or 4 paras or 3 paras for that matter, out of which you have to skim and scan and identify the correct answer. You're reading the question, you're highlighting the keywords, you'd be looking for paraphrasing as well. In that mix, if you have read the options beforehand, there is a high possibility that you will end up getting confused. So do not read the options. That way, when you understand, because options will always confuse you, because the options most of the time will be similar to the correct answer. So first read the text. There exactly would be written what you need. So read the text, there exactly would be written what you need, and then you would identify it back again to the question, to the options. So once you have not read the options, then you have to skim and scan again, which is common in all the question types. Skim and scan the text for keywords. Read that part of the text in detail very carefully. Think for the meaning of the text, or if it is trying to confuse you, or if there are many distractors thrown before or after the correct answer. So because we are not reading the options beforehand, the least we can do is read that part of the text in detail very carefully, go back, reread the question, mark the answer while eliminating the wrong ones. Now this is also something you will find here that is new, which was not before. So elimination is the thing that you have to use while solving MCQ type questions. You will be able to eliminate the questions, eliminate the options. Don't eliminate the question, guys. Eliminate the options which are the wrong ones, obviously. So eliminate the options which do not correlate to your understanding. You have read the text, you have read the question, you are the expert now. Now you will have some options which you could eliminate. So think about not only which options are correct, but how the other options are wrong. So you'll have to look at the correct option also, but also eliminate the wrong ones. So this is the process of elimination. So basically, in the process of elimination, we have to reject the options not relevant to exclude or deduct the confusions. Similarly, we have to look out for distractors in the paragraph as well. So when there is a question type that says to tell the crux of the para, try and read the first or second line of the starting of the para and the last 2 or 3 lines of the para. That's how, if there's a question that is asked to ask the crux of the para, you can use this tip. Now let's look at the first type of first MCQ question exercise. So we'll read the instruction first. This is an exercise question, so there's no instruction. Obviously, the instruction would have said to choose the correct option among 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and D. So we'll read the question now. The first question says, what accident might occur at work in the morning after you bought coffee? So my keywords are accident. Oh my gosh, sorry. My keywords are accident that might occur at work. This is a major keyword in the morning after you brought coffee. I'm not reading the options. Rob Kaczmarek, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I'm not, sorry, explains us that coffee shoots out very far. Now we have given with a proper noun, it's easy to identify in the text. The main reason coffee spill is, the main reason. Why does the coffee spill? The text, this text might be classified as, so classified is my major keyword here, text is my major keywords. Now what accident might occur at work in the morning after you bought coffee? Okay, I'm looking for the word morning. I'm looking for, okay, you're running late for work and you have purchased your coffee in a hurry. So running late for work, obviously in the morning you go to work generally, and you have purchased your coffee and you're in a hurry. So you bought a coffee, that is purchase your coffee is paraphrased as, just as you arrive at the office, a jet of hot liquid escapes from tiny hole in the lid. So what happens is a jet of hot liquid escapes from tiny hole in the lid, leaving you with hot beverage residue on your clothes before the day has really even started. So the word morning is written paraphrased as a day has really just started. This is morning for you. So my answer is this: a jet of hot liquid escaped from the tiny hole in the lid, leaving you with a hot beverage residue on your clothes before the day. Clothes. Now let's look at the option which is the most relevant. You spill it all over the place accidentally. You get burns from the coffee, hot coffee. You contaminate your clothes with it, and nothing out of ordinary. So nothing out of ordinary, this option is not even given. I'm eliminating this option so that I won't get confused. You spill it at all over the place accidentally. Neither is the word accidentally written here, neither is the word you spill it all over the place written anywhere in this line. So I'm not going to write it. You get burns from the hot coffee. By, like, if you have forgotten to write the answer correctly, some might logically base this answer as a correct answer, but it's wrong because it is not provided in the paragraph. My answer is option number C. You contaminate your clothes with it. And why contaminate? Because the word contaminate your clothes is paraphrased as residue on your clothes, beverage residue on your clothes. So my option is option number C is the correct option. Now Rob Kaczmarek explains to us that coffee shoots off very far. Where I can find this word? Very easy to skim and scan. Rob. This is what exactly happened to Rob after buying a cup of his favorite caffeinated drink. So he explains that coffee shoots out very far. Coffee shoots out so far, and therefore set about modeling this initially as a joke for those who enjoy a bit of computational fluid dynamics. It's the design of the lid that has the problem, he explains. So that is what he's explaining. Explains as that coffee shoots out very far. Now let's look at the examples options. He sets his experiment as a joke, so this is not what he's joking, this is not what he's explaining. He was really intrigued by the spilling of coffee, so he was, the marketing director is Convergent Science, was intrigued by why. Okay, so he was intrigued, but that is also was not, he was explaining us. So he was explaining us what? That is the design of the lid that has the problem. He explains. So coffee spills because of the design of the lid. The correct answer is the C one. You understand how they confuse you? The main reason of coffee spill is, the main reason of coffee spill is. Okay, let's read the next paragraph. It happens because main reason of coffee spill. As the coffee slashes. Okay. It happened because of the slashing of the coffee against the lid, which is kind of unique. At the end of the lid, the hole is right up above that. As the coffee slashes against the end of the lid, that velocity is amplified and it splashes up through the actual hole. Now, it happens, so the main reason is because slashing of the coffee against the lid, which they find it unique. And let's look at the options. So the main reason is slashing, design of the cup. It is not stated. It happens because of slashing of the coffee against the lid. So slashing of the coffee against the lid. Design of the cup is not actually mentioned as the main reason, and it is not stated. This is to eliminate it completely. So my correct option is option number A. Fourth question is, this text might be classified as, okay, not all coffee cups are designed with a hole, of course. Some have lids, have a tiny hole. Just peel back, reveal a larger gap which offsets shooting jets of hot. No. So this is what is, they have asked your opinion. Now look at this paragraph. I have read paragraph 1, 2, 3. Only this was remaining. Had I found the answer here? Not exactly. So I've read this para as well in a very like skim and scanny pattern. Now the text might be classified as, they have asked your opinion. You have read the 4 paragraphs. In my mind, I would look at the options and eliminating the wrong one. It's not at all romantic. It's not fictional because they have stated facts and all. It's not humorous. I don't find it funny. So it is scientific because they have included facts and all, and they have actually did a bit of study on it as well. So I would say that the most appropriate answer is A here. So the correct option is CCAA. Now let's look at the other exercise question. Now you can see how many paragraphs are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now just imagine that without you learning the tips and tricks, without you understanding the question types, if you do not know the strategy that we learn here, if you went ahead and solved these questions, you would end up reading all these 15 paragraphs. But we do not do that because we have the strategy. So do not get panicked. Start with reading the instructions. So they say choose the correct letter A, B, C or D. So you cannot write the whole answer, just choose from A, B, C, D. So you have to choose one out of 4 options. Question 6 to 9 and write the correct answer in boxes 6 to 9 on your answer sheet. So imagine there are boxes given here where we have to write the correct answer. Now we have read the instruction very nicely. We'll go ahead on the questions. The writer mentioned London's National Gallery to illustrate. The writer mentions London's National Gallery to illustrate what? So we have our keyword here, which is the proper noun. The writer says that today, so writer has to say something about today. Viewers may be unwilling to criticize a work because they're asking for a reason why. So they're unwilling to criticize work. Why? According to the writer, as per the writer, the displacement effect, again, very easy keyword to find in the text, on the visitor is caused by what? Again, 9th question is the writer says that unlike other forms of art, a painting does not. So what does a painting do not do in comparison to other forms of art? So I'm looking at the word writer mentioned London National Gallery to illustrate. Am I finding the word London's National Gallery anywhere here in the first few paragraphs? London National Gallery, because there are so many keywords. The writer says, let's look at the question again once again. The writer mentioned London's National Gallery to illustrate. Okay, so we need London National Gallery. Okay, I've spotted the word London National Gallery here. In addition, a major collection like that of London's National Gallery is housed in numerous rooms, each with dozens of works, any one of which is likely to be worth more than all the average visitor possesses. So, the writer mentioned London National Gallery to illustrate an undesirable cost to a nation of maintaining a huge collection of art, the conflict that may arise in society between financial and artistic value, the negative effect of a museum can have on visitors' opinion of themselves, the need to put individual well-being above large-scale artistic schemes. So what is it saying is that, like that, okay, in many cases the architectural style of the building further reinforces that nation. In addition, a major collection like that of London National Gallery is housed in numerous rooms. So the collection which is present at London National Gallery is actually housed or is placed in numerous rooms, each with dozen of work, any of which is likely to be worth more than all the average visitor possesses. So it is likely to be more value, it worth more than whatever the average visitor possesses. So what it is talking about is not this. We'll look at the process of elimination. The need to put individual well-being above large-scale artistic schemes. I don't think so. No. Then the conflict that the negative effect of a museum can have on visitors' opinion of themselves. This can be considered. The conflict that may arise in society between financial and artistic value. No. This is not at all we are talking about this. The undesirable cost to a nation of maintaining a huge collection of art. Okay, let's look at the paragraph. One limitation is related to the way museum presents its exhibit. As repositories of unique historical objects, art museums are often called treasure houses. We reminded of this event before we are collection by presence of security guard attendant ropes display, keeping us away from exhibits. Okay, in a society that judges the personal status of the individual so much by their material worth, it is therefore difficult not to be impressed by one's own relative worthlessness in such an environment. So when I read the next line, it is pretty clear to me that they're talking about a negative effect of a museum can have on visitor opinion on themselves. My answer is C. Right? If you look at this line, that it is worth more than what an average visitor possesses. And we live in a society where we judge the personal status of a person, of an individual being, by their material worth. So what happens is that it becomes very difficult not to be impressed by one's own relative worthlessness in such an environment. When you go to malls and all, when you look at different brands and you see that you can't afford it, you end up feeling bad about yourself without anyone's, like, you don't want to feel that way, but you are made to feel that way because you're human. You can't stop, not you can't not compare yourself with others. We always look up to someone, you know. Do we fill that society standard? So that is what they're talking about here. See, the writer says that today viewers may be unwilling to criticize work because, okay, criticize work. Okay, evidently, nothing the viewer thinks about the work is going to alter that value. So today's viewer is deterred from trying to extend that spontaneous, immediate, and self-reliant kind of reading which would originally have met the work. So they say that furthermore, consideration of the value of the original work in its treasure house, setting impress upon the viewer that since these works were originally produced, they have been assigned a huge monetary value by some person or institution more powerful than by themselves. Evidently, nothing the viewer thinks about the work is going to alter that value, and so today's viewer is deterred from trying to extend the spontaneous, immediate, self-reliant kind of reading. So this is where the question is paraphrased as they deter from trying to judge it. So why do they do is because they think that this is an originally produced, and it has a value of some sort, and people or person or institute which are more powerful than the visitor themselves, himself or herself, has put a value on that huge monetary value by someone in power which is more powerful from the viewer and in comparison. So therefore the viewer does not criticize the work. They think that, for example, like if you think you are unworthy, if you're feeling unworthy, and you are asked to judge a situation by like something from within, you can say guilt, or you will be less confident then to judge that particular work or criticize that particular work, because you would think that, oh, like, I am not worth it, how can I make myself do that? So they lack the knowledge needed to support an opinion. No, that is not true. They fear it may have a financial implication. Let's have a pin on it. They have no real conception of work's value, and they feel their personal reaction is no significance. So I think D is the correct one, because they feel, okay, that is what they are feeling. That is what the author is trying to say, that they feel that their personal reaction, because in the paragraph it is said that the price is set by the institutions, people in power, okay, the persons there running their business. So their personal reaction would have no significance, because already the arts, they are such costly arts. If I give you a bag that is worth 250 rupees and I give you a Louis Vuitton bag worth thousands or lakhs for that matter, you won't be able to criticize the bag, because in your mind a perception would be made that, oh, if this bag is worth 1,000 rupees, then it must have something. How can I criticize it? Where do I stand even in the place to criticize such a costly object? So they feel that their personal reaction is of no significance. So they do not have real concept of work value. Okay, this was also wrong. Now see, financial implication. By this word you will get distracted, because they're talking about money there, monetary thing and all. So this is also not the correct answer. The correct answer is option number D. Okay, according to writer, the displacement effect on the visitor is caused by, the displacement effect is further heightened by the sheer volume of the exhibits. In the case of majority collection, there are probably more works on display than we could realistically view in weeks or even months. So the visitors may then be struck by strangeness of seeing such diverse paintings, drawings, sculptures brought together in an environment for which they were not originally created. This displacement effect is further heightened by sheer volume of exhibits. So this displacement effect is further heightened by the sheer volume of exhibitions. What are the options? By variety of work on display and the way they are arranged. The impossibility of viewing particular work of art over a long period. No. The similar nature of paintings and the lack of great works. No. The inappropriate nature of the individual work selected for exhibition. Here the simple answer is A1. Option number A is correct, because they have displayed so much variety of work that, and the way they are arranged, that as per the writer, visitors have the displacement effect, and it is caused by variety of work. So you look at something, it gets displaced, and you look at other thing, the previous thing displays. So it is caused by the sheer volume of exhibit, sheer volume, variety of works, and the way they are arranged. Then the writer says that unlike other forms of art, a painting does not as other forms of art. Difference between painting and other forms of art is that there is no prescribed time over which a painting is viewed. By contrast, the audience encourages as an opera or a play over a specific time, which is duration of performance. Similarly, novels and poems are read in a prescribed temporal sequence, whereas a picture has no clear place at which where to start viewing or at which to finish. Thus, artworks themselves encourage us to view them superficially without appreciating the richness of detail and labor that is involved. So they are talking about mainly time here, that a painting, no prescribed time over which a painting is viewed, but if you are in other forms of art, there are specific times. So unlike other forms of painting, does not involve direct contact with an audience, no. Require a specific location of performance, no. Need the involvement of other professional, no. Have a specific beginning or end. Have a specific beginning or end. So they say, unlike other forms of art, a painting does not, yes, very nice, painting does not have a specific beginning or end. So the correct option is option number D. About diagram labeling, like, share.